So the first thing that we did was just put the countries' names up and their different flags, and we kind of had the students try to guess which flag belonged to which country. And from there, we moved on to an actual map and looking at the 8 different countries. Just for reference, those countries are Brunei, Philippines, Taiwan, China, Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. So then we put a map up on the board, and we showed the students the different 8 countries and how the relationships are in between the 8 different countries. And we actually asked the students to try to guess what the topic was going to be that we were going to talk about. I think there were 2 out of the 4 classes that we had that actually were able to guess the world issue that we were going to talk about, just based solely on seeing the 8 different countries. The next thing that we did was put the students into groups of 4, and we gave them the flags, and we just told them, we said, okay, take the flag and put it on the correct country. Now, a lot of them were like, how do we do that? How are we going to possibly know where the country is? And some of them actually figured out the problem, or on their own, excuse me, they figured out the solution on their own, was to actually get out their geography books that they had, and they started looking at the world map and trying to match the map that we gave them with their map in the book, and they started pasting the flags on. So that was really nice to see that some of them were actually using problem-solving skills. They weren't just purely relying on listening to the teacher. They were starting to be able to figure out and learn on their own, that kind of thing. So then after we had them figure out where the different locations were, we started introducing the idea of the economical zones that each country contains, that goes out into the sea. And for me, it was quite surprising, because when I was explaining how the EEZ works, the zone that goes out into the sea, the students already seemed to understand what that was. And it turned out that they had already actually learned this in their Chinese geography class. So when I explained it in English, they were able to pick it up very quickly. And then they just drew the line for each country where they thought their EEZ went out into the sea. And then we gave them a quiz to make sure that they all kind of were on the same page and they understood where the geography was. And then we started talking more about the conflicts that are involved and why these different countries are showing up in the news every day. 3 easy words that we thought we would teach them were fish, oil, and shipping. Okay, so fish, oil, and shipping are arguably, they're most likely the 3 biggest issues that are happening in the South China Sea. Fish, oil, and shipping, they all translate into one thing, and that is money. So the reason that the South China Sea is going to be so important in the future, and why it's so important now, is because of money and resources. And each of these countries in the region, they're all fighting with each other because they want money, they want resources, they want fish, they want to be able to feed their people. They need oil in order to operate factories, in order to operate cars, and in order to run planes. A whole economy depends on oil. So because there's so much fish, because there's so much oil in the South China Sea, of course it's going to be a lot of tension and a lot of fighting between different people in the region. Okay, so we looked at some news stories that were popular at that time. We gave them some quizzes. We tried to reinforce all of the different things that we had learned up to that point, so that we could start getting into an activity. And Mr. Lee and myself, we designed a game that the students could play that incorporated oil, money, fish, in order to try to keep your country happy. So every country were represented in the game,